Hello and welcome to TVM's Metro Update. We're broadcasting live from our studios here in Warri, Delta State. I am Olamilekon Christopher, and these are the news making rounds this hour. The Delta State Right Honorable Sheriff Warri, who is the governor, has approved the appointment of new members into the State Executive Council, the Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission, and the Judicial Service Commission. In a statement issued by the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Kingsley Ezeimu, the governor named Mr. Brave Onyikoro Edone and Mr. Ogodo Emonikiovo Moses as honorable commissioners and members of the Delta State Executive Council. Mr. Cosmos Igbenije was also appointed as a member of the governing board of the SOPADEC. For the Judicial Service Commission, the governor approved the appointment of 3 persons: Joseph Obinama Jobu Esquire Chief James and Barrister Fuebi Edoyabo. According to the SSG, the swearing-in ceremony for the new appointees would hold on Tuesday, July 21st, 2026 at 10 a.m. The latest appointments are part of ongoing efforts by the Warri administration to fill key positions across government and statutory body in the state. Also in Delta State, the Delta State government says it will receive 50 compressed natural gas buses within the first 4 to 5 months as part of efforts to introduce a mass transit system across the state. The Commissioner of Transport, Mr. Onurode Agofuri, disclosed this during a media briefing on Thursday, saying the procurement process has begun following Governor Sheriff Warri's approval of the project. Agofuri said the buses will provide residents with a cheaper, safer, and more comfortable means of transportation on intercity routes and within the Asaba metropolis. According to him, the government has already identified the routes the buses will operate on and to ensure efficient services when the scheme begins. The commissioner added that the government was constructing modern bus terminal in Asaba and Warri to support the operation of the mass transit scheme and improve public transport infrastructure. He said politics and legal framework were also being put in place to ensure the program remains sustainable beyond the current administration. Agofuri noted that the initiative will create jobs for drivers, ticketing officers, cleaners, and traders operating within the terminal while boosting economic activities across the state. He added that although the scheme would initially focus on road transportation in upland communities, the government plans to extend the service to riverine areas in the future. Also speaking, the Director of Vehicle Inspection Services, Engineer Vincent, commended Governor Warri and the Commissioner of Transport for reforms in the transport sector. He said the reforms included automated vehicles inspection, road safety awareness campaigns, and plan to review transportation laws to strengthen economic enforcement and improve traffic management across the state. Still in Delta State, the Delta State government has launched a central smart advertising management platform to modernize outdoor advertising regulation, compliance, and revenue collection across the state. Governor Sheriff Warri, represented by the Secretary of State Government, Dr. Kingsley Ezeimu, stated that the state has lost revenue due to a disaggregated collection system that relied on touts at the local government level. He directed the Delta State Signage and Advertising Agency to ensure recovery of lost revenue through strict enforcement. Chief Executive Officer of the DESA, Honorable Sebastian Oko, said the platform would eliminate revenue leakages and want a guest cash payment, as the platform provides multiple online payment channels. The platform features include registration of advertising structures, online application review, location tracking, QR code verification, and real-time monitoring. The chairman of the DESA governing board, Oluwagunjaro Egbo, stated the project is a joint venture between the 25 local government councils and the state government. Now, members of the All Progressive Congress APC Delta State mandate has passed a vote of confidence in President Bola Tinubu and Delta State Governor Sheriff Warri. According to the statement by the national president of the group, Isaac, the group commended what it described as a purposeful and transformational leadership. The vote of confidence was adopted at a meeting of the group held at the residence of the member representing Isoko North Constituency 2 in the Delta State House of Assembly, Ferguson Onwo in Asaba. The motion was moved by the pioneer speaker of the Delta State House of Assembly, Emmanuel Okoro, and seconded by Onwo before members adopted it through a voice vote conducted by the group's national president. Addressing members, Awuzia urged party faithful to intensify grassroots mobilization and strengthen support for all APC candidates ahead of the 2027 general elections. He described the Delta APC mandate as a strong political platform committed to advancing the fortunes of the party in the state. He urged members to remain united and work towards the re-election of President Tinubu and Governor Warri, as well as the success of other APC candidates, adding that electoral victories will create greater opportunity for party members. Also, the Delta State APC Chairman Solomon Arenyeka commended members of promoting the achievements of the Tinubu administration and the Warri government. He urged them to sustain the momentum and work for the victory of the party in future elections. The APC House of Representative candidates for Anosha and Osimili Federal Constituency, Ndudi Elemulu, called on members to close ranks and embrace reconciliation in the interest of the party. Now moving on to Edo State, the Office of the National Security Advisor has commended Edo State Governor Senator Monday Okpebholo for the ongoing training of 500 forest guards to strengthen security across the state. The commendation came when the Director of Defense Affairs at the Office of the National Security Advisor, Major General Hilary, led on evaluation team on a courtesy visit to the governor after assessing the training program. Our correspondent has the reports.
This initiative would not be possible without the collaboration and support from Edo State government. We appreciate Your Excellency for the continuous provision of resources to support the training. Particularly, we've been informed about your generosity in terms of welfare for the instructors and trainees, as well as the facilities used for the training. Together, we have made significant strides in not only training these guards, but also in raising awareness about the importance of forest conservation. However, we recognize that there is still much work to be done. Progressively we'll get there. Your Excellency, your leadership and commitment to security of lives and properties has been instrumental in driving this initiative forward. We appreciate your unwavering support for policies that promote sustainable security and development for Edo State.
Let me say a very big thank you for this initiative. And also to thank Mr. President for damning it fit to say, yes, Nigeria must be protected. And if we don't have forest guard, it will be difficult because you see strangers coming to live in our forest and launching evil from there. So it's a very good initiative. The National Security Advisor is somebody that I know very well, and I believe that anything that is good for Edo State, he will not deny us.
Still in Edo State, the chairman of the Ovia Northeast local government area of the state, Honorable Friday Ogbeifun, has donated vehicles and motorcycles to security agencies to enhance their operation and improve security in the area. Ogbeifun stated that the gesture was aimed at supporting the efforts of security operatives in tackling crime and ensuring the safety of lives and property in the council area. He said the items would assist security personnel in responding to distress calls and carrying out patrols more effectively. He also called on residents to cooperate with security agencies by providing useful information. The Edo State Police Command received the item and commended the chairman for the support, noting that it will boost operational efficiency. Also in Edo State, the Edo State Diaspora Agency, in partnership with Nigerians in diaspora organizations, Europe, and nurses across borders, has commenced the first phase of the rehabilitation of the Ugbomosun Primary Health Care Center in Huwode local government area. The intervention, part of activities marking the 2026 Edo Diaspora Week, also featured a free medical outreach providing healthcare services to residents of Ugbomosun and neighboring communities. The project aims to improve access to quality primary healthcare in rural communities. The Secretary of the Ugbomosun community, Ubemudia Igbinosun, said the rehabilitation will improve healthcare delivery and reduce the burden on residents who often travel long distances for medical care. Chairman-elect of Wodo Local Government Council, Austin Imafion, commended the collaboration.
Work is ongoing at the Ugomoso Primary Healthcare Center in Uhowade local government area as the facility undergoes rehabilitation. The project is being implemented by the Edo State Diaspora's Agency, Nigerians in Diaspora's Organization, HOPE, and Nurses Across Borders.
In all of the local government.
Beyond the rehabilitation work, residents of Ugomoso and surrounding communities are receiving free medical services, including consultation, health screening, and treatment.
I close this one now. I can't see far.
A community representative says the intervention is timely as the facility serves several communities and has required attention for some time.
In fact, from what you are saying today, if they tell you that this building was here 2-3 months ago, you won't believe. We are happy that we are seeing something like this today.
Officials of the Uhowade Local Government Council and the Edo State Ministry of Health visited the center to assess the progress of work.
It's thereby commissioned by Dr. Cyril Adamposhomole, Honorable Commissioner for Health, on July 15, 2026.
The Uhowade Local Government Chairman, Austin Emafidon, and the Edo State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Siri Oshomole, commended the partnership, reaffirming government commitment to improving primary health care delivery across the state.
As a private individual before now, I've pledged to give them a solar system that will power the entire place. And today I'm in government. So it means we'll continue to sustain whatever they've done now, the renovation and the security of the place.
For this particular PAC, let me say it again, those two volunteers who have been volunteering for the past 4 years without salary, we are going to onboard them so that they are going to be part of those state workers. Because when you have a facility like this without healthcare workers, it's going to be like a museum.
The Edo State Diaspora Agency says the Ugomoso project is the first phase of a broader healthcare intervention.
They have said this is phase 1. Phase 2 will come, phase 3 will come, 3.0, 4.0. So technically what they have done is to adopt Ugomoso Primary Health Center and to say that every year we will keep adding on to where we are coming from.
The initiative is expected to improve access to healthcare in Ugomoso and neighboring communities while encouraging more diasporas-led development projects in Edo State. Adesi Thompson, TVM.
Moving on now to Cross River State, the Cross River State Governor Basi Otu has urged youth to embrace practical vocational skills as means of livelihood in order to create impact and proffer solutions to global challenges. Governor Otu gave the charge at the 16th Career Day Conference in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, in honor of Cross River State former Governor Hilary Mabeokwu. He praised his predecessor and organizers of the event for their meaningful contributions to the leadership training, mentorship, and career guidance through advanced networking between several mentors and their mentees. Our correspondent has reports.
Young people, majorly students in both secondary and tertiary institutions of learning, are gathered on this 16th Career Leadership Mentorship event, pioneered by former Governor of Cross River State, Senator Lyle Imoke. A yearly event organized to shape the lives of young people. These scholars with diverse interests aimed at proffering solutions to global problems in areas including medicine, agriculture, information communication technology, as well as other sectors of the economy, are gathered here to get a first-hand experience from those they look up to.
Please put your hands together as we welcome our founder for his welcome address, Senator Lyle Imoke, CON.
Governor Otu, while welcoming participants and speakers at the event, commended the vision behind the initiative, describing it as a strategic investment in human capital development.
That for us to go forward, we need discipline. Discipline is 90% showing of talent, cheap and consistent in rare. Only a disciplined mind can stand the demands. Therefore, to every young person here today, your time is now. Your world is not waiting. Our state is not waiting. The sage, Nelson Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it is done. Your Excellency Senator Imoke, thank you for the 15 years of impossible things made possible. Speaking for the government and people of Cross River State, I congratulate the British Leadership Foundation and may the next 15 years be even greater.
Speaking on the vision behind the foundation, former Governor Lyle Imoke recounts his experience growing up, which challenged him into creating platforms for economically disadvantaged individuals for career and mentorship advancements.
Like I said, I grew up in rural communities where I saw young people who were smart, who had ideas, who were excellent in whatever it is they set out to accomplish, but they just didn't have the opportunities, they didn't have the exposure, and they could not compete with people in the urban areas and in the cities and in other countries. And I felt that we could harness that passion, that capacity, that resourcefulness amongst young people if we're deliberate about it. And that's why we started the foundation, okay, being a deliberate foundation to groom young people, not just as leaders, but also to groom them as people with strong character, strong values, and strong understanding of service to community and to humanity.
The Honorable Minister of State for Industry, John Owan Eno, commended the initiative and charged youth to take advantage of every opportunity to develop themselves, build meaningful careers, and contribute positively to society.
You know, three things: power, purpose, persistence. That's the theme. And for each of them, there's a lesson about it. Power, for me, doesn't come from the top, it comes from the ground. It comes from those skills that you have. The skills that you have are the power. Purpose, you must deliberately discover your purpose.
Mentorship, career guidance, and continuous learning remain vital to preparing young people for the future and adding their voices and contribution to nation building.
Moving on now to Bauchi State, the Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed has dropped 2 of his commissioners from the State Executive Council less than a year before the end of his administration, while nominating their replacements to the State House of Assembly for screening and confirmation. Mohammed's media head, Muta Gideado, in a statement on Friday, said the move was part of the administration's continuous effort to strengthen governance and enhance service delivery across the states. He said that the affected aides are Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Investment, Muhammad Salis Gamawa, and the immediate past Commissioner for Education, who was subsequently reassigned to the Ministry of Power, Science and Technology, Dr. Muhammad Lawa Ramin. He said that they were to assist the State's Executive Council with immediate effect. The governor has also accepted the resignation of the former Commissioner for Rural Development and Special Duties, Honorable Farouk Mustafa. Mohammed expressed appreciation to the outgoing commissioners for their dedicated service, commitment, and valuable contribution to the development of Bauchi State during their tenure. Kogi State government has said it has successfully rescued the 4 persons kidnapped in the recent attack at an examination center in Olowa, Dekin local government area of the state. Commissioner for Information and Communication, Kislin Fawu, who disclosed this in a statement, described the rescue as an outcome of a coordinated security operation ordered by Governor Ahmed Ododo immediately after the incident. According to the commissioner, Governor Ododo directed the State Security Advisor, Commander Jerry Omodara, to coordinate a joint rescue mission involving the Nigerian Army, the Department of State Services (DSS), the Nigerian Police Force, local vigilante groups, and other security operatives. Security operatives now remain in the forest while the operation is ongoing. While Fanwo commended the gallantry and professionalism of the officers and men of the Nigerian Army, the DSS, the police, local security operatives, and all other agencies involved in the rescue mission, describing their swift response as another testament of effectiveness of interagency collaboration in the fight against insecurity. The commissioner also expressed appreciation to the Kogi State government, to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for his steadfast support to the state security efforts. A new and improved move to integrate terrorists have been introduced by the federal government. This comes after a motion that has been debated in the Red Chamber seeking stricter measures against acts of terrorism. However, the new operational framework was disclosed on Monday in Abuja by the National Coordinator of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, Office of the National Security Advisor, Major General Adamu Laka, at the National Validation Workshop on Standard Operation Procedures for the disarmament, dismobilization, and reintegration at the federal level in the pilot states of Kaduna, Katsina, and Zamfara. According to Laka, this is an effort by the nation to widely tackle insecurity, through non-military measures while providing practical guidance for implementing the program, strengthening accountability, transparency, and collaboration amongst relevant agencies after extensive consultation have been concluded with stakeholders. The federal government now has reaffirmed its commitment to eradicating the deadly PPRO, which is a viral disease affecting sheep and goats, to protect livelihood, strengthen the livestock sector, and support food security. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Livestock Development, Dr. Chinyere Akujobi, said this in Abuja at a workshop to review and align the National Strategic Plan for the Control and Eradication of PPR in Nigeria. The workshop was organized by the Pan-African Secretariat for the Eradication of PPR, funded by the European Union in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development. Akujobi said small ruminants remain the primary economic safety net for millions of households, making their protection central to the government's agricultural transformation agenda. She described PPR as one of the most economically devastating transboundary animal diseases affecting sheep and goats across Africa, Asia, and parts of the Middle East. According to her, the disease continues to threaten livelihood, reduce household incomes, and constrain the growth of livestock sector. We take a quick break. We have more stories when we return. Please stay with us.
Welcome to DERSAG Engineering and Services Limited. We hold several specialized permits with the Department of Petroleum Resources, are accredited with service and product codes by NIPEX, certified by Dun & Bradstreet, and proudly ISO 9001:2015 certified. Our areas of expertise cut across critical sectors, including manpower sourcing and supply, engineering services, construction and fabrication works, specialized procurement and supply, operations and maintenance services, and integrated marine services, delivering supply boats, crew boats, tugboats, barges, houseboats, and speed boats. At DERSAG Engineering, we are committed to quality, safety, and timely delivery, ensuring that every project meets and exceeds expectations. DERSAG Engineering and Services Limited, your trusted partner in delivering world-class engineering.
Welcome back from that quick break. I am Olamide Christopher, and this is Metro Updates. Moving on now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has disclosed that it is considering conducting a comprehensive audit of all its electoral technology systems, alongside a mock presidential election as part of measures to strengthen preparation for the 2027 general elections. Chairman of the Commission, Professor Joash Amopiton, disclosed this while receiving a British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Dr. Richard Montgomery, on a courtesy visit to the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. The INEC boss said the proposals, which were under consideration by the Commission that same day, were informed by concerns arising from the 2023 general elections, particularly regarding the reliability of electronic technology. According to him, the Commission was looking at the possibility of auditing all its systems ahead of the 2027 elections, as well as conducting a mock presidential election to test the readiness of its processes and technology before the polls. Amopiton noted that the proposed exercises were not ordinarily captured in the Commission's budget, originally captured in the Commission's budget, but stressed that INEC would explore ways to actualize them if required, given their potential value in strengthening the credibility of the general elections. He linked the proposals to the Commission's broader efforts at technological reliability, which includes continued development of the Bimodal Voters Accreditation System, popularly known as BVAS, and the INEC Result Viewing Portal, as well as an ongoing review of the Commission's cybersecurity architecture covering system, redundancy, penetration testing, and disaster recovery mechanism. The INEC chairman explained that public confidence in the electoral process depended significantly on the reliability of the Commission's technology and processes, adding that INEC remains committed to addressing any gaps identified from previous elections ahead of 2027. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, has addressed the controversy surrounding the death of Mary Habila, saying that she has been battling what is described as a strange illness, that he had personally spent more than 2.2 million naira on a medical treatment at a Turkish hospital before her death. Umahi said Habila, a nurse attached to his residence and guest house, spoke with her boyfriend shortly before she died and complained of nosebleed. According to him, the boyfriend advised her to seek medical attention but was unable to reach him again minutes later. Her room was eventually forced open and she was found dead with the bathroom tap still running. The minister said Abila's family initially opposed an autopsy on cultural grounds, but he has directed his lawyers to insist on one and asked that her body should not be released until the examination is conducted. He also requested that the Inspector General of Police oversee the investigation from Abuja and ordered investigators to analyze the call records between Abila and her boyfriend. Umahi appealed to Nigerians to avoid speculation, insisting there was no basis in linking him to the death. He described Abila as one of the most dedicated staff members, clarified that she is a nurse, not a physiotherapist, and said all relevant medical records have been available to assist investigators. Also, the Obedient Movement has accused the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, of using its investigation into alleged naira abuse to target supporters of the Labour Party presidential candidate, who is now the NDC president candidate, Peter Obi. The allegation follows the questioning of two prominent members of the movement, Peter Aka and Oru Precious, who were later released but asked to return for further interrogation. In a statement, the movement described the interrogation as politically motivated and alleged that the anti-graft agency was focusing on opposition supporters while ignoring more serious corruption allegations involving politically exposed persons. It insisted the investigation was an attempt to intimidate supporters of Peter Obi. The group further exclaimed that politicians facing corruption allegations often avoid scrutiny by joining the ruling or progressive Congress, urging the EFCC to prioritize major corruption cases instead of what it called politically driven investigation. The Obedient Movement reaffirmed its support for the two members under investigation and called on EFCC to discontinue the probe. The anti-graft agency has not responded to the allegations as at the time this report was filed. Moving on, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has declared alleged drug kingpin Unumaka Kelvin Uchena, also known as Odogu, and 3 associates wanted over the alleged involvement in operating a clandestine methamphetamine laboratory and laundering drug proceeds. The suspects were declared wanted following the order of Federal High Court in Owerri. The case stemmed from a discovery of clandestine methamphetamine laboratory in the Jaba local government area in Imo State, where NDLEA operatives recovered 18.4 kilograms of methamphetamine and other items in February. Investigators say the 4 suspects have since gone into hiding. The NDLEA say forensic investigation led to the freezing of bank accounts containing nearly 9.84 billion naira allegedly linked to the syndicate. The agency also secured interim forfeiture orders over a filling station, multi-story residential building, and 4 SUVs believed to be proceeds of the illicit drug trafficking. NDLEA chairman Brigadier General Mohammed Marawa said the operation demonstrates the agency's determination to dismantle drug trafficking network and trace illicit assets. He appealed to members of the public with information on the whereabouts of suspects to report to the nearest NDLEA office as efforts to apprehend them continue. Also, a suspect vandal has died from being electrocuted while allegedly attempting to steal power cables from the Etata injection substation operated by the Benin Electricity Distribution Company, BEDC, in Benin City, Edo State. Police officers later recovered the body from the facility. BEDC says the suspect was believed to be part of a group that had earlier stolen copper cables from the substation before allegedly returning for another operation. The company said the suspect mistakenly cut a live neutral cable connected to a power transformer, triggering a fatal electrical explosion. The company described vandalism of electricity infrastructure as a growing challenge across its franchise states, warning that attacks disrupt electricity supply and cause significant financial losses. Residents have been urged to report suspicious activities across substations and transformers. BEDC also says preliminary investigation indicate the suspect gained access by scaling the perimeter fence. The company says it's reviewing additional security measures, including reinforcing the facility's perimeter to better protect critical electricity infrastructure. Now on to business news. The Central Bank of Nigeria is targeting a $1 billion in monthly diaspora remittance by the end of 2026, according to CBN Governor Olayemi Kadoso. Kadoso displayed this while speaking at the Business Day CEO Forum in Lagos. The target represents an increase from the current level of over $600 million per month. The CBN governor attributed the growth to policy reforms that remove bottlenecks, including the licensing of more international money transfer operators and the introduction of non-resident bank verification number. Kadoso stated that the monthly inflows through formal channels have tripled from about $200 million since the reform began. Nigeria's gross external reserve has also increased by about $52 billion. Still on business news, oil prices are on course for their strongest weekly gain since April, as the escalating conflict between the United States and Iran disrupts shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. Brent crude rose 1% to $85.06 per barrel in Asian trading, while the U.S. benchmark West Texas Intermediate climbed 1.2% to the $79.88 per barrel. The gains put crude oil on track for a weekly increase of about 12%. The renewed escalation has halted the recovery of tanker movement through the strait, with shipping traffic slowly sharply as operators reassess security risks. U.S. forces launched another round of military strike on Iranian attacks overnight, the sixth consecutive night of attacks. The conflict widened further on Thursday after U.S. forces struck an Iranian-linked tanker near Karang Island, Iran-made crude export terminal. Reports also indicate Iran may instruct Yemen rebels to close the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, a crucial gateway to the Red Sea. Now on to the UN. The UN Resident Coordinator in Nigeria, Mr. Mohammed Fall, has pledged commitment to support Nigeria in strengthening food system, promoting climate resilience, and accelerating progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Fall gave the assurance on the ongoing two-day national dialogue on Nigeria's Convergence Initiative on Food System and Climate Action in Abuja on Thursday. It focused on aligning food system transformation with climate action to support the achievement of the SDGs and the Paris Climate Agreement targets. Fall said the UN will continue to support nationally led efforts through the UN Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework. It described food system as encompassing all activities involved in production, processing, transporting, and consuming food. It commended the federal government for demonstrating leadership by bringing partners together to pursue a shared vision for food system transformation. Also speaking, the Deputy Director of the UN Food System Coordination Hub, Ms. Lara Boat, said Nigeria has become the 22nd country to join the Convergence Initiative on Food System and Climate Action. She said countries around the world are recognizing the need to align food system and transformation with climate action. Still in the United States, from the foreign scheme, United States has carried out a sixth consecutive night of military strikes on Iran, further escalating the conflict on Tehran, accused Washington of targeting civilian infrastructure, and expanded its retaliatory operations across the Middle East. The U.S. Central Command said American forces struck dozens of Iranian military installations, including air defense system, logistics facility, and maritime capabilities. Iran, however, claims the attack also damaged civilian infrastructure, including a bridge near Bandar Abbas, while insisting several civilians were killed. Iranian Revolutionary Guard says it has launched retaliatory actions on U.S. military targets in Oman, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Syria. Jordan said it intercepted Iranian missiles over its territory, while Kurdish security forces in Iraq reported shooting down several drones. The renewed fighting has also heightened concerns over the closure of the Strait of Hormuz as its impact on global oil supplies. Despite the worsening conflict, the White House says President Donald Trump remains open to diplomacy while warning that the United States will respond firmly to any threat against international shipping. Iranian officers, however, insist Tehran will only accept agreements that protect its national interests. Moving on, at least 8 people have died and 34 others remain missing after a landslide struck Pengyang County in Songwing Municipality, southwest China on Friday. The landslide occurred at about 9:10 a.m. local time, burying part of a residential and commercial area at the foot of a mountain. More than 800 emergency personnel were deployed to the scene to carry out search and rescue missions. Local authorities says 18 people were pulled out from the debris, but 8 of them later died from their injuries. Videos from the scene show massive amounts of rock and earth covering buildings and roads, while eyewitnesses fled as thick clouds of dust swept through the air. Officials say the mountainous terrain is highly unstable, with loose rock continuing to pose a danger to rescue teams. In response to the disaster, the Chinese government released 50 million yuan, about $7.4 million, to support rescue efforts, emergency relief, and assistance to affected residents. Chinese President Xi Jinping directed authorities to determine the cause of the landslide as quickly as possible and intensify inspections to identify and eliminate potential geological hazards. The incident comes less than 2 weeks after another landslide in Gansu province claimed 21 lives, highlighting growing concerns over recurring geological disasters in parts of China. And that wraps up Metro Updates. You can watch us on the go via our social and digital platforms, and you can also watch us on TVM's app, accessible on Android platforms. I am Olamilekon Christopher. Do have a lovely day ahead of you.